Hello and welcome to another edition of Tutorial Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about Google Docs. If you're not familiar, Google Docs is an internet-based word processor from Google, which is part of their Office suite known as Google Drive. It's very similar to Microsoft Word if you've ever used that before. I'll actually be doing another tutorial on Microsoft Word at a later time. There's a couple of different ways to get to your Docs home screen. If you remember last time we had gone to Google Drive, so if you would, you can go to drive.google.com, and from here you can click on New and then choose an option from your Google Docs. You can also go straight to the Google Docs only page just by going to docs.google.com, and this will only show you your Docs files. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like, go ahead and click on blank, and this just gives you a good idea of what everything looks like, what you can be using later on. As always, the first thing I recommend you do is to rename your document. And you can also see that you have similar toolbar items that you've seen in other programs too at the top here. But before I show you how to do something from scratch, let's go over something that you can have that's already pre-made called a template. If you go back, you can see up here at the top you have several different templates to choose from. These are not your only options. You can scroll down and see they have many others in different categories to choose from. One of the most popular items, of course, is a resume. So I'll click on the first option to show you an example of that. As you can see, everything is already labeled for you. You just have to change where it says your name and to put in your information. Everything looks nice and neat. Of course, this isn't the only one to choose from. You can go back and choose another one. It looks a little bit different and maybe more to your liking. Again, the layout is already there for you. You just need to fill in the blank, so to speak. Change everything that you need. If you click on each item, you can see that in the toolbar, things change a little bit depending on what you've clicked on. This has a different font color. Has the bold to it. It has a little bit larger font size, and the font itself is different. You can click on different words and objects to see how each one differs. You may also change these to your liking to make certain things stand out if you want. Let's go back and take a look at another template. I'm going to choose Report. Again, they have everything nice and neat looking for you. This is the style of what's called cookie cutter, where you simply just take out what they have and fill in the blank with what you need instead. They've got a couple of nice, neat little features where they've got the report, a bigger font size and bold. And you can see they've added a picture, and they've got these fancy lines at the bottom with some bold text to break down each different article. So now let's get into making one of our own. We go back and choose blank. I'm going to fill in some text to show you all the different things that we can do with it now. First thing I'll do is I will rename it. And then I'll add in some text. Here I have an excerpt of the library article from Wikipedia that we'll use as an example. Let's go over the toolbar. Starting at the left, you have the undo button. Since I just pasted this article in here, I'll click undo to simply undo the last step. Next to that is redo, where it will reapply what you had just taken away. You can print from here. Use the spelling and grammar check. And we won't worry with the paint format for right now. Next over, you have your zoom option. This is something that you might want to do from the very start, right after renaming it. I would always choose fit, and it will automatically adjust to the size of your screen. Makes it a lot easier to see. You can change the size to something custom if you would like, ranging from 50 to 200. They give you several options to start with, but if you want something in between, let's say for instance between 150 and 200, you can just simply type in 175 and it will adjust to that. Next over, you have your style options. These are most commonly used for essays and reports. You can simply choose what you want. And you have options as well if you want to customize a little bit. Next over is your font. I'll simply highlight a little bit to show you a few examples. To also show you that you can choose a selected text, or you may select everything. You also have your font size. Again, they have predetermined options for you, but you may choose something within the range that they have listed between 8 and 96. I'll choose 14 here, and let's say I wanted something just a little bit bigger. We'll try 16, and there it does for you. You then have your bold, italicize, underline options. You just click on each one to see what it would look like. Click them again to undo those options. You can also change the text color. Again, anything that you have highlighted will only be changed, or from that point forward, when you start typing again, it will go back to what's on there before. If you choose something that you have already changed, from this point forward, it will then be changed to what you had selected. And if you click back over to where your other option was, it will then continue from that selection. Wherever you put your cursor and click, you can see what is selected or what's not. And if I type back in here, you can see that this is now changed back to that different color. I'll make this easy and do the undo option to go back to where I was. We now have the insert link option. This is simply to add in a website. As you type in a website, it will search for you, and then you may simply click on that option, hit apply. It would give you the name of the website, and when you hover over it, it will tell you what the website is, and you can simply click on it to go to that website. The add comment option is something you can use if you want to make a note for yourself. Think of it as a virtual sticky note. It will not show up in the final version of the document that you print or send to somebody, but they may see these comments on the side. Here's an example. You can now see my comment to the right. Whenever I click elsewhere in the document, it won't show up until it's near right beside where you had already made it. You can simply click on it to edit. The comments are also useful whenever you share a document with somebody else. They can reply to your comments and even add some of their own. Now let's try to insert an image. I'm going to search the web for one. I'll choose library. After it's been selected, you may click Insert. And there it is. With this picture, once you click on it, you can use these blue squares around the edges to adjust the size of it. Next over, you have your alignment options. By default, it's to the left. You may choose to make it centered or to the right. And you also have a line spacing option here. By default, it's 1.15, but some people prefer double or single. Next over, you may choose to make a numbered list. After you hit enter, it will start a new number for you. When you are finished, click it again. Let's go back. Go down a line, and then after you toggle it off, it will go back to normal text again. If you don't need numbers, you may use bullets instead, which again do the same thing. Click again to turn it off. Next over, you have your indention. You may choose to click the start of a paragraph and have it indented over, or you may choose multiple lines of text, and it will get everything in those paragraphs. The clear formatting button does exactly what it says. Anything that's deviated from the default set of options in the toolbar will go back to that. For example, if I choose this paragraph and choose clear formatting, it will go back to what Google Docs has by default with the normal text, Arial font, size 11. You may do this for anything that's selected. You can also choose to highlight everything to do the same thing. This concludes today's tutorial of just a very brief overview of what's capable in Google Docs and how to get started with one. Next time I will be going over some of the more useful tools that I use commonly, and I think you all will too. Thanks for watching.